are they going to be able to advance to the next stage, the grand finals? A lot of people have them as the favorite, but Nova Esports certainly is a team that you should not sleep on. Then going down to the lower bracket portion of this, it's been a bit tumultuous, to say the least, for a lot of our teams. We had some early exits here, with Fear not having the best run in this competition, I think surprising a lot of people, as well as Team Vio getting knocked out early on. Truly OP have certainly been some superstars that I don't think a lot of people were considering them getting this far, but the story was Strike Zone, and then Truly OP just says, no, Cinderella, this story doesn't belong to you. They're going to be going on to the loser semifinals, where they're awaiting the unlikely challengers of Tribe, who many think could win. This whole competition has started. It's now time to jump into the action as soon as we are ready to go. Here we are, folks. It's Xset versus Nova. Gentlemen, the floor is yours.
Bobby, I'm excited for this matchup. I just want to say that
this is going to be a really good one. I mean, ultimately, this is the proving grounds for Nova. They've made it to the top of the winners bracket, but probably 3 of the weaker teams in the entire tournament were up there in the top with them. So the way that they perform on this map is really going to set the pace for the rest of the game. You can see Xset already with a lead off the start. You end up picking up 2 kills. They've got really good map position. 1 player in top of control centers, which is where you would always love to have somebody. So with a 10-point lead off the start and pretty good positioning, we'll see if they can carry this through the next few hard points.
Yeah, and absolutely. So I'm also noticing in terms of the weapon meta right now, we're seeing a lot of DRHs. I feel like yesterday a lot more teams were experimenting, but right now we're seeing a little bit more consistency with the weapon set. ASM-10s and DRHs basically across the board. I am excited to see what Deathly's can do with that HVK though. Typically not a weapon you're going to see in respawns because of the very small magazine size. It burns through ammo way too quick typically for respawn, but I'm excited to see what he can do with it for sure.
Yeah, Deathly's has definitely been the one Xset player that has just not been able to get anything going. I believe the lowest KD on the team as of right now, so potentially making that switch over to the HVK could help him. I believe he actually pulled out a shotgun right now, which is not too surprising to see, especially on a tiny map like Summit. We do see him rocking the KRM, and over on the right side of the screen you can actually see our losers bracket game happening right now. Tribe Gaming with a 40-point lead. Tectonic, no surprise to see him fragging out with that GKS, which is not something that we've seen a ton, but with the nerf that we talked about with the HG40, definitely going to see that more. We see the bat kills coming in once again for Sexy.
Yeah, and also if you take a peek at Yuna right now, I believe 7 kills, so fragging out. And fun fact too about Yuna is he's actually a 2-finger player. He plays with just his thumbs, which, I mean, shout out to all the thumbs players out there. It's extremely difficult to do that, especially at a high level, but to see his movement and his gun skill ability is something that's just really cool to see, because again, if you guys didn't know, most pro players do play with 3 to 4 fingers. 2 thumbs is not something you see typically, so really cool to see him fragging out like this, currently at 7 kills.
Yeah, so it is only a 13-point lead right here for Xset, and with Nova getting pretty well established with spawns, if they're able to maintain this could be a big turning point for them. We see AY on the top side, not able to win that gunfight. That's going to allow a couple of Xset players to push in. They get the break on the 1 player holding spawns for Nova, and this could actually be catastrophic as we get a super clean break coming in for Xset. They've already got the lead. We're now going to have Nova players rotating from all the way across the map, and with that break coming in, they're going to need to turn this around in a big way to have a shot at winning this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now, I think these are 2 teams that are extremely evenly matched inside of Hardpoint. Typically, we do see Xset be a much more aggressive team, whereas Nova's goal is typically to slow down the pace, especially when we're talking about domination. But inside of Hardpoint, obviously, you have to kind of rotate with the hardpoints, and that's something that Nova hasn't been incredible at, but has been solid with. And I think it's going to be interesting to see how they react to Xset's aggressive playstyle.
Yeah, I think the big thing is they just gave up the break way too easily on that one. They had 4 or 5 players set up on the 3rd hardpoint, and Xset just absolutely blew through them. I was looking at the KDs over on the side, and Impulsive, 16 kills already. Yuna with 10, nobody above 8 over on the side of Nova. Saxy moves up to 9, but they're just not winning their gunfights. And you can have good positioning, you could have the best strategies in the world, but if you're not winning your gunfights, ultimately you're gonna end up taking the L against any type of a team that has better gun skill and just slightly better strategy. And that's what we're seeing right now. Maralto pushing up, typically one of the weaker respawn players, but still up to 9 kills already in hardpoint right here. So we do get a pretty quick break coming in for Nova. If they can hold this, it'll be big, but it's definitely not going to be easy.
Yeah, they've been good on this point so far. I think they've dominated around 90% of the time. So really good for them to be able to pull it back up, because going into this hardpoint, I do think they're around 60 to 70 points down. So definitely able to close the gap here, and we got to see if they're going to be able to make that rotation to the next point here.
Yeah, you got to take a look. Xset's got a Goliath in top of control center, and if he stays in there with proper cover, it is going to be a really difficult kill for Nova Esports. We do see him picking up a kill right there. It's Impulsive is just frying 21 kills. Actually, we do have Vitali with the Annihilator. It's huge for them. Pretty much the only chance that they're going to have of quickly taking out that Goliath was a Annihilator. So the fact that he was able to get that was big, but Yuna popping off with Annihilator of his own, 16 kills on the board, and only about 40 points needed for Xset to close this out, but it's only about a 20-point game right now.
Yeah, and Yuna, as you can tell, still has a cluster strike and XS1 to his disposal, so going to be interesting to see how those are played, because obviously in this kind of persistence meta, those kind of score streaks are going to play a very big factor. Although I don't know if the cluster strike would be able to reach on this hardpoint specifically with the roof above, but in the future ones, it could be a very pivotal thing.
Yeah, Nova's able to get some time on the hill. That'll set them up well for the next hard point. Deathly's finally able to pick up a couple more kills with the Annihilator, able to move from 3 kills up to 5. And you gotta wonder, if you're Xset, do you consider making a substitution for Deathly's, as he's been the bottom KD for the team so far and pretty far below the rest of his teammates right now?
Yeah, I mean, I would. I mean, we're talking right now about a situation where with Xset, at least they do have one match to lose, but we are getting to the end of this series, so it's going to be getting to the point where they have to make decisions and just stick with it too. You know what I mean? Changing the team chemistry this late in the tournament is something that is very difficult to do, especially with no day to reset. They had to make those kind of decisions last night and this morning, so I imagine the team that they have right now is definitely going to be the one that they have to stick with. Changing chemistry midway through is very difficult.
We are going to get a Goliath onto the hard point, and that will likely mark the end of the game, as Xset does close that one out, 150 to 107. Really good fight coming out of Nova Gaming, but they just weren't able to win enough gunfights. Giving up the break on that third hard point was too big of a break, and it ended up coming back to bite them, as we do see Xset coming out on top. I don't think that's something that we're too surprised to see. What are you expecting to see in Search and Destroy? Even when he was getting the hit markers. So if he had been able to pick that one up, that could have turned things around and given him an opportunity to win the 1v3. But we are going to go ahead and hop back to our winners bracket match. You can see 2 players remain for both Xset and Nova Gaming. Xset Maralto yet to pick up a first kill in here, and we know that he's going to be playing a big role for them. Saxy actually sniping for Nova with the Arctic 50, and enemy 2 kills on the board for him already. Shots are coming in. Decipher spotted opposing team, but will be able to get away with his life in only 26 seconds to get the bomb down. This is not going to be easy, especially with no progress toward either bomb site. They've got to make a decision soon. This seems like a missed opportunity for Nova, as they're just continuing to go back and forth. Pretty much Decipher has to 100% insta-plant as soon as he gets to the site. He's going to be able to do so, but they don't have a trophy system down. Could be risky if nades come over top. It doesn't look like they will, and Xset not able to capitalize on the late plant for Nova. Maralto does still have the sniper, and with a sniper in his hands, anything is possible, but Yuna's gonna need to be the one that makes the first push. More than likely, knowing that they've got people inside trailer, he's going to stick the defuse for a little bit, gets the frag. Decipher picks one up, but Yuna gets the 2-piece. That'll close it out and allow Xset to go up to a lead once again, as they will go up 1-0.
Get ready for the next round.
And it looks like once again we will have Nova over on the offensive side. No snipers in play, but more than likely, as we do have players speed boosting, that's the reason we're seeing that, and a aggressive B push. We've got a sniper in the hands of Vitaly over on the side of Nova. Maralto once again sniping for Xset, and Lewis going to be able to get onto the bomb site pretty quickly. Deathly's getting info from the angle, not able to get an angle onto the opposing player. Sending out the Molotov very well could have caused issues, but it's actually Vitaly that picks up the first blood onto Yuna. With the bomb down, the pressure is on, but Nova Esports looking pretty good despite taking the loss in that first round. They got 5 players alive. They got a bomb down. Impulsive trying to make the push into the bomb site. Maralto looking for a pick, but can't make anything happen right now. And a little bit of an overexposed, but Vitaly lands the shot. Beautiful from him. Sexy on the flank. Nova's gonna close this when they execute correctly, and Deathly's will drop right there as Nova is able to close that one out and tie things up at a 1-1. All right, it looks like we've got ourselves a tie game. Hawk should be back to us shortly. Sexy bringing in the big flank for Nova, and wow, a lot of damage on 2 players for Nova. Barely staying alive, I believe, both dropping down. Lewis and Decipher close to 5 HP. Decipher's gonna drop. Vitaly lands the snipe. 1 player down for both teams. The pressure's on. We got a massive encounter. Vitaly with the quick scope. He drops to Sexy, or to Yuna. Sexy picks up the frag, and it's now a 2v2.
All right, well, I'm going to be filling in here for the time being, funny enough, as just watching this, and also just it's just been a wild game to see take place here. But round concludes, and this is going to be this has already looked like it's gotten quite interesting here, Bobby. And I think, like, if Nova managed to pull this one off and tie this one up, complexion of this series really changes. Yeah, for sure. I mean, we know that they said they were the better search and destroy team. Some of the other teams doubted it, but right now it seems like their players are playing at peak performance, which they didn't really seem to do in the first few games. More than likely just playing at the level of their competition. I think that's just something that happens a lot of times, and Vitaly and Sax, that we said before, were going to be 2 of the biggest factors for Nova. They've been really good so far, combining for 10 kills through the first 3 rounds. We'll see if they can keep that going, as Vitaly actually dies to the Molotov right there. That's a big loss for Nova. Yeah, massive loss, as a matter of fact. That Molotov is effectively going to cut off that lane for them, allowing them to be able to take some more space here. As Lewis is going to be making his way around to the left side here. He does have that bomb. He's anticipating a potential push coming from the back trailers there. Which is the reason why he doubles back. Saxy's also doing the same thing there as well. They're just patrolling, as they're the last 2 players left alive in a 2v3. They have a choice to make here, and I think the choice, we know it, obviously they don't. The choice could be for B, but they are going to be putting pressure inside of that front trailer there, Bobby. Oh no! Disaster strikes there, as the car is actually going to blow up, taking out Lewis, leaving only Saxy, the last player standing here, and Saxy's probably going to go for a poppy play. I think he wants the bat 1v3. I think that's what he's going for right now. Oh, he's 100% sending it. Okay, I think he pulled out his AR, but when he slides in trailer, he may have the... No, not going to use the bat. Missed a couple shots right there. If he had been able to land the final ones, probably could have turned and landed shots on opposite side of trailer as well, but that will allow Xset to tie things up at 2-2. Destroy the objective. And I believe we have Hawks Nest joining us once again.
Hey, Bobby. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. Just watching some incredible Call of Duty mobile content. Unlike your content.
Okay. All right, buddy. That's how this is going to go.
But anyway, in terms of competitive Call of Duty, I mean, what have you seen so far between these 2 teams? What are some things that stand out to you?
I mean, it's been pretty back and forth. Nova has seemed like the better team. Didn't execute very well on the offensive side last round. Kind of left Sexy by himself. So if they're able to get those consistent contributions, I think they can take this one. We are down here on both teams, as Silva and Sexy will drop. Losing Sexy is a big loss for Nova right now. He has been by far their most important player, 9 kills through the first 5 rounds, and with him gone, they're going to need to lean a lot more on those role players. Impulsive's going to drop to AY. Lewis picks up a frag as well. It is a one-man advantage coming in for Nova. Deathly's still alive, looking for shots through. He's landing the shots, but AY takes him out. Maralto hits the quickscope. It's a 1v1, but not enough time to defuse, and Vitaly plays it to perfection, and that will allow Nova Esports to take the 3-2 lead.
They just had a nice little opportunity to say hello right there. I like seeing Saxy frag out right now. I really do, because he mentioned to me that yesterday he was struggling with some of his gunfight confidence, and that was something he spent a lot of time on, just trying to fix his ability to take those 1v1s. And as you can tell right now, top fragging basically in the entire match. So it's really cool to see that from him at the moment. He's playing really well. And
yeah,
he goes down as I say that.
Whew, yeah, Impulsive just with beautiful shots sliding in. Played that to perfection. Taking control of trailer. It is all Xset so far this round. They've got the bomb down. One player inside of American for Nova. They pick up a frag, but they're going to need to do a lot. This is not going to be an easy fight for Vitaly, but he could not have played that better. Slides the corner, slides out before the opponent can take shots on him. They drop another. It's now Nova with a man lead, and Maralto and Yuna the only ones left. Maralto's only been able to pick up one kill so far and can't manage to hit the slide shot. Yuna drops to Cypher. Vitaly picks up the frag, a 1v2. We do have Yuna jumping out of trailer, but can't hit the shots. Vitaly closes it out, and Nova Esports will now take the 4-2 lead.
Yeah, I'm wondering what happened with Yuna right there, because you'd have to imagine that his teammates were calling out that they were back there, and he just decided to make that jump in a 1v2 situation, which I don't care how good of a gunner you are, that's not something you can win in that kind of situation. So, yeah, if I was Yuna, I would have stayed in trailer, just played it by ear a little bit more, and was an interesting play right there, and obviously Nova was able to capitalize.
Yeah, that seemed like a little bit of an ego challenge, which if you're playing in a rank match, I get that, but these are the best players in North America. That is not somebody you want an ego challenge. And Impulsive, oh my gosh, laser beams coming out of his gun right now. Xset with a man advantage once again, but we've seen this happen in past rounds. Nova's been able to clean things up. Down 2 players, but will they be able to muster something right here and put this up to a 3-point lead?
If Xset does make it to the finals, I would put Impulsive up there as the MVP for Xset. He's been going off throughout the entire tournament. His DRH play is insane. I want to see his build 100% and see what he's rocking, but it's insane, the shots and the movement that he's been putting up in this tournament. It's insane.
Yeah, I've been watching this team for a while, and he has, without question, been the leader of the team for the most part, especially in respawns. They are able to close things out. As Silva picks up the final frag to bring things a little bit closer at 3-4, but he's just so consistent in so many different game modes, whether it's search and destroy, hardpoint, domination. You can see he's really more of a respawn specialist, but already 8 kills through the first 7 rounds and trying to lead his team to a comeback victory right here up against Nova Esports. Going up to a 2-0 lead would be huge, especially with them having a lot of momentum in the respawn. I think if they can close out this search and destroy, that all but secures an entry into the finals for them.
Yeah, and talking more about Impulsive too, statistically, he actually has the highest KD of any player inside of S&D throughout the tournament. So S&D and just fragging out, it just works really well for him.
Yeah, we do see a one-man advantage for Nova, so if they can close out this round, it should be easy to get one of the last 3. Maralto looking for a pick through top of 10 right there, and he's not been quite as good on firing range as we saw him be on standoff yesterday. Seems to be a little bit more streaky and just hasn't been able to play those right angles to find shots. Probably not quite as many challenges coming in from Xset, but Maralto, the reverse caster's jinx right there as he lands the shot onto the Cypher. Now a 1-player advantage once again for Xset, and things going south very quickly for Nova. The bomb is down, and they are not going to have a whole lot to work with. Saxy's able to pick up shots on the Maralto. Vitaly tries to pre-fire, but Silva is ready for him. It's all in for Saxy right here. 10 kills on the board, but a 1v3 against this team comes storming back so far is not going to be easy, and Yuna will close that out to tie us up at 4-4.
Yeah, that was a tough spot for Saxy. I mean, Yuna was able to make the callouts on Saxy, and Saxy just had to focus on Yuna, so he was pinned in that kind of situation, so not much you could do. But going into 4-4, keeping this game way closer than I think Xset imagined a blowout, honestly, the way they were talking about this matchup. I certainly think they planned a 6-0, but here we are, 4-4. Nova keeping it very close.
Yeah, Yuna has been really big for Impulsive. I don't know where those 11 kills came from, but over the last couple of rounds, he must have just absolutely fragged whenever we weren't looking. He's been really big in this comeback for them, and Saxy just not getting a ton of help from his teammates. Decipher, one of those big factors that we talked about for Nova, has not been making the contributions that we need to see out of him. So we definitely need a first blood out of Nova. Be looking to Vitaly to try to land one of those cross-map snipes. He hasn't been able to do it a ton since the first round, which is when he had some of those really big plays. But if he can get one right here, it will definitely be big for Nova. But they end up losing Lewis to Maralto for the first blood.
Yeah, big snipe there from Maralto. Able to get the man advantage here. Also getting a plant from Xset. Looks like they do have good trailer control as well. Nova currently trying to get some vision here, figure out what's going on.
And this retake, especially with that smoke not going where Saxy wanted for it to go, is going to be next to impossible. AY is going to land shots onto Impulsive up above. Those were huge. Spots a player around the corner. Deathly's will drop as Decipher gets the refrag. Saxy, I don't know what he's doing. There's so much on the line, and he's pulling out a baseball bat in the middle of a 1v2 gunfight.
I almost suspect that's because he's using the HVK, which shreds through ammo. I think he got down to one bullet, and his only option was to pull out the bat and pull a poppy there.
Oh, that was just... That's probably what happened. At that point, I would almost rather just try to stick the reload than pull out the bat right there. I think he was hoping that he would just manage to get one before dying, but it didn't happen, and Xset continuing to fry. Yuna, 15 kills. He wasn't even their top frag a couple rounds ago. 15 kills, 7 above his next teammates are up a man advantage, making a two-man. Maralto with the two-piece. He's been so big for them. Even though the kills haven't necessarily been there, the timing has been everything. And now it's all on to Vitaly to try to clutch this up for Nova.
Yeah, I absolutely agree about the Maralto thing too. It feels like he's been doing some insane plays this game. His kill count doesn't show for it, but every time he needed to hit those snipes, he did. Apart from the one where he tried to shoot in tin and that didn't connect, but luckily a teammate was able to finish the kill, and they're going to come out with a W in that round.
Yeah, it's Maralto picking up the final kill to allow them to go up to a 2-0 lead. With how good they've been so far, not only in hardpoint, but in search and destroy as well, I don't know if Nova stands much of a chance of being able to take them outright there, but we're going to have to wait and see. We are going to...
As we've seen throughout the entire tournament, Xset has been a extremely powerful respawn team. Obviously, domination respawn mode. I could see them taking this one in a pretty dominant fashion. It's really going to depend on how well Nova is able to perform. They have talked about how domination is not really their strongest mode, but they did do a lot of preparation leading up to today's matches to hopefully just kind of close the gaps, and we'll see how they do perform here.
Yeah, we see Silva play the top of Grandma's to perfection as he's able to get the first blood, and just like that, so many players on the B flag, but it actually turns into disaster as a massive feed comes in for Nova. Neither team wants to use their trophy systems at all, and so many deaths to explosions. Surprising to see such a simple play to counter that not come in for either team, and really botched opportunity for both, if you ask me.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things Nova said they plan to do coming into domination rounds was be a little bit more patient, avoid overextending, slow down the match, really dictate the pace of the games, and just take those longer range fights where they do feel a little bit more confident. And right now I'm not entirely seeing that. We're just seeing a lot of mayhem on the B side, and again, without any trophies, which is typically common sense. You just throw down a trophy and go on, but for some reason they're, I think, panicking and just going on B. But here we go. We got Xset with the trophy. As you can see, the defense trying to get a B cap here. Also fighting a Nova player, unable to connect on shots. The smoke is going to disappear, and Saxy is going to get the kill right there.
Yeah, Saxy with a little bit of a slow start, but coming in a major way right there. He's been able to pick up 3 kills recently, and it will be 2 players on the B site for Xset. But once again, no trophy system. I don't know if it's that they've already used it or they're just not thinking of it at all, but due to the lack of trophy systems, neither team able to take the B flag, except hopping back on. We actually see Deathly's, who has not been great for Xset so far, doing pretty well with 7 kills on the board through the first half of the game. We see the trophy systems coming in, but it is all Xset in the kill feed. No B cap coming in for Nova Esports. This could be catastrophic, especially with Yuna getting that Annihilator called in.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, Xset is completely dictating the pace of the match, which is the complete opposite of what Nova did intend to do. As Nova said, they just don't want to be late to the score streaks, because score streaks do play such a large part inside of domination. And right now, it looks like Deathly's will be getting a pretty insane amount of kills. And if you're wondering what they're doing while they're getting kills, we're gonna go ahead and hop into a Xperia dial-in with Xset right now.
Core tag.
Nice.
They're gonna cap.
Yeah.
No, two more.
Damn, you.
Nice. Good stuff.
Go. Going L1 right now.
Awa. One awa. Dead.
Come monkey. There's 2 monkey.
Oh, well, come back.
One more.
I have a friend.
Okay. Good. There's 2-1.
Where?
Where?
Nice.
That
Nice. Go.
Dead. Take that.
Some market. Oh, look at it.
He's dead. Oh, another annihilator.
Deli, shotgun.
Okay. Don't let him get into the spawn.
They're not.
Statue. One statue, guys.
Statue.
Middle right
Nice.
choice.
Come on, B.
Middle right choice.
We're flipping.
Middle right shot is 1 shot.
4. Get C. Easy C cap, baby. Good stuff, Silva.
Deli.
I got a trophy.
Nice.
Middle white box.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
that was
Damn it, bro. Right before.
I have all my streaks, guys.
We're fine.
Alright, good shit.
All of it?
Yeah, I have all of it.
Holy shit.
So you can hear both the entire team really pretty cool, calm, and collected. Even though things started to go south a little bit, we saw Nova Esports able to turn that one around. It looked like Xset was pretty well in control, but after getting the B cap, they were able to protect it for the entire rest of the round. Now a 76-72 lead for Nova Esports. Are they going to be able to keep this up?
I don't know. It's definitely going to be really close here. I really like the comms from Xset right there. Very clear, very concise, unlike some of the teams that we've heard in the past, which we will definitely talk about a little bit more in the broadcast as the teams do play. But right now in this match, really like what Xset is doing. The team is pretty consistent with the kills across the board. Maralto, the only one kind of struggling, but even then with 7 kills, which is a solid amount. In terms of the side of Nova, everyone is extremely consistent right now. It just seems like they're having a little bit more of a problem addressing Xset's aggression.
Yeah, it is definitely nice to see this tight of a game with so much on the line. Even though this is not an elimination game for either team, staying in that upper bracket is such an advantage, and we actually see Deathly's, who's having his first really big game of the tournament, calling in the Pred Missile, gets the double kill right there. That's going to be big for Xset as they look to finish off this B cap. They've got somebody on there with Yuna laying down shots through building, gets the frag right there. That should allow them to close out the cap, but nobody on the site with a cluster on the way in for Nova. Played very, very well, but with an advanced UAV on the way in for Xset, more than likely that's going to make it that much easier for them to start getting the frags with Impulsive inside of a Goliath. Eventually the cluster strikes will run out, and then it's a question of whether or not Nova is able to survive the push from Xset.
Yeah, and if I'm Impulsive right now, obviously go ahead and stick A and then just hide it out with the XS1. Try to maintain that as long as you possibly can, because obviously that could be the difference maker. Right now, he doesn't have to frag out too much. Kills won't mean too much. Really just trying to play that defensive role. As you can see right now, they currently have the triple cap, while Nova is trying to get C back.
Yeah, more than likely we'll probably see him. Oh, I was expecting him to go top of blue, but he's actually rotating all the way through the map. I believe in the back of Grandma's. Or no, he's on broken wall, so wide out in the open, pretty exposed. Yuna makes the same mistake, gets taken out by the Pred missile from Lewis. Most of the time, you'd like to see these teams value their Goliaths a little bit more. Putting it wide out in the open just makes it so susceptible to so many different things. Saxy's still alive in his Goliath, Lewis alive as well. We may see a retake over on B, as we do have the FHJ from Maralto destroying one of the Goliaths, but with a couple still alive, we could still see Nova cause some issues, but the constant cluster strike over on that B flag is going to make it tough for them to make any type of a push.
Yeah, I like the space of the cluster strike as well. They're just constantly able to maintain control on B. And one thing I don't like, though, is how basically everyone is calling in their XS1s at the exact same time. The thing about the XS1 is the mobility is just really bad, so that does allow the other team to be able to reverse and get your home flag, which is never what you want. And then obviously, XS1s are just very countered by any kind of explosives, and if you don't have teammates able to throw down those trophy systems to protect you, then that's just not good for you.
Yeah, it's going to be too little too late for Nova, not able to get the B cap, and at this point they would need a triple cap anyway. Even though they were able to muster some really good effort toward the beginning of that game, they just weren't able to make anything happen, and it's actually going to be a 3-0 win for Xset in the winner's bracket to allow them to move on to the finals. We will have Nova moving down to the loser's bracket, who are we going to see down there?
Yeah, I mean, you know, unfortunate run there for Nova, right? But Xset was just they were on fire. I do want to give a special shout out to Impulsive, by the way, because in game one summit, I mean, this guy was just on fire. I don't think he missed a single shot. It felt like that was just how good he was. And then another thing that I think you guys highlighted nicely was about the comms. You can hear a level of just calmness to it, where they were confident. They knew all the fights they were taking. When they needed to put emphasis on something, they put the emphasis, like when they needed to retake B site or B mid.